look pretty much the same too. Like they're a little bit smaller. But yeah. Hydras are definitely cooler. All right.
Very cool indeed. As we load up into the game number 1 in Grey's Fun, it is spawning on the bottom right corner. Latin America's herO. It is SpeCial for Sandstorm Gaming.
And in the top left-hand side for DPG, it's Korea's herO.
Oh, you said it?
I said it. I did it. Yeah, got him.
I thought you totally baited me there.
You baited on the back of your own bait.
And herO doing what he always does, which is his 12 probe scout to harass. This is incredibly annoying as a Terran player because it usually damages your first SCV enough that it gets so low you kind of have to be scared about him swinging back and maybe getting a few more pot shots and then. But yeah, in general, just a very annoying thing to deal with.
You don't want to repair it, but he has to. Turns around.
Yeah.
Spends a little bit
Already
of
forcing those resources out of SpeCial to be put into repair. Definitely not something you want. Which would, of course, delay your CC, the rest of your build a little bit.
Yeah, just marginal, but you can feel those little shifts. In fact, Daejo, like, people were saying how insignificant, for example, the creep change is. And maybe if you look at it on a map, it is true that, you know, like the creep it's not going to be much further behind. But from the Circ perspective, like when you have all your timings down and like, you know, like you go back to the screen to spread the creep and you can't. It feels pretty bad because you got to go and like reset your timers and go back to a different screen. And it's kind of like the same thing here, right? Like you remove a few minerals and it's not like it should make a massive difference in terms of time or in terms of your ability to continue to keep on track and try to win the game. But it feels weird, right?
Yeah, I believe it does. It does also affect a little bit the range of things. So even if I say, for example, that Disruptor nerf is not as big, it still affects the range, right? Like it hits a little bit less further away. The reach is just not there sometimes, and it ends up whiffing more than it often would otherwise. Not even maybe like clipping a Marauder or a Ghost, which does affect the outcome of a game often. So
yeah,
definitely not insignificant.
Yesterday we also saw herO lose a game to Solar because his Ravagers were like 2 seconds late, which is, you know, the patch
it happens.
Again. Yeah, it happens. It happens all the time because there's so many interactions in StarCraft that all these minute changes do make a difference. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like the biggest patch in the world, but I mean, it's definitely things happening, you know, just difficult to note all the time. Good snipe on the probe. Yeah. The Reaper might pay with his life.
It will indeed, and he's not even going to get the scout off on the Stargate, I believe, which kind of sucks for SpeCial. Although he is going into a build that I would say is actually not bad for it. But as I say this, he also goes for a proxy starport, and this game is already getting out of my area of expertise. Like, this is not something that I play it myself, so it's hard to say how it's gonna pan out. But so far, I can say for sure he might have a hard time getting down to his natural base. Even though he does have a healthy or a Marine count and a Cyclone coming out, does have to be careful against those Adepts.
The Cyclone's gonna have to be key. The Adepts, of course, they want to reserve their better judgments for their friends to arrive. The Phoenix is now here as well, so the Cyclone under a little bit of pressure here, as it's likely to get picked up, especially if it's isolated from the Marines, which it currently is. Oh, nice. Good snipe.
That's one Adept. That's actually really good, considering he wants to go for a Marine Tank Banshee all in. Every Adept, every unit that he kills counts, and even getting small things done like damaging this Phoenix might actually help for his push later on. So small little wins like this might actually dictate the result of the game later on. So very interesting.
Very interesting indeed. It's going to be Cloak Banshees on the side of SpeCial. I would expect that he's going to make 2 of them before moving in.
Small supply block here, which might delay his unit production a little bit.
It's a little unfortunate for sure. But yeah, I mean, Cloak Banshees, I like it. At the same time, herO did not cut any corners there. He went straight into the Robo very promptly, so there will be most likely Observers out by the time there is already one out, but it's out on the map. But there should be a second one in production at some point soon, right? And the Banshees should be spotted. If that's not the case, herO will have to be quick to the recall before the Banshees can do too much damage.
Yeah. And frankly, I'm not sure how this is going to pan out. It could be a hold for herO, but it could also be a win for SpeCial. I'm not entirely convinced that this will work simply because Banshees dies so quickly to Phoenixes. They are, of course, light units, so they receive bonus damage from the Phoenixes. And of course, there are also observers for the cloak. Shield batteries actually heal quite well through their damage, so...
It's just the one observer and it's out of position for the time being. So I'm keeping my eyes open and seeing in the production tab whether as an observer will get started right after this Colossus. Because if it doesn't, it's going to be on herO's reflexes. Oh no! And, he recalled already. So is the Banshees already in the main? What's Daiejo?
Yep, sorry, I missed that Banshee going into the main. I believe it was just the one. It does end up getting killed because he recalled the observer together with the Phoenixes. But yeah, that is one less Banshee he's going to have with this push, and also the one less Cyclone. So already not that great of a start.
Really bad start, actually. Wow, actually, 2 different probes getting shot at there, so not even going to get one. I'm very surprised that he went with one Banshee instead of waiting for the second one. It was kind of like offbeat as well. It wasn't like the Banshee spawned that he went because he still had to wait for Cloak.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting tricky already. And 2 tanks and a bunch of Marines is definitely not going to be enough to push the through Colossus with range. Luckily for him, he still got a few seconds on that. He might decide to just go back instead. But even still, maybe herO won't let him get home scot-free, already taking care of these reinforcements and keeping his army ready to pounce on it for the future. Still, Banshee's doing harassment in the natural, though.
A third one. I mean, no one expects a third Banshee. That's just bananas. So the third one is actually the one that finds some relevant damage as they get 6 probes, almost 7. Could have been 7 for sure. As again, 2 of the shots are split between 2 probes. And a 4th one. I mean, look at this man. Oh my God.
No one expects a third one, let alone the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th.
Yeah.
But it does look like the 5th one will instead be a Raven, which is actually not a bad choice.
Yeah, I mean, this turret will get taken down here before completion. The Marines are gonna shoot away the Phoenixes, and the tanks are ready for the frontal attack, but it is a lot of herO here at the front. Phoenix is trying to look for what they can, and the 4th one is doing fantastic. Warping
and now he's forced to move his whole army back, and the Phoenixes.
There is an observer at least in the back, so that's something. No recall for SpeCial means the Banshee is gonna die. It does find a stray probe there on the way out, so... Nice job from SpeCial.
Yeah. I think I will still give the edge here in this game to herO. Of course, he has had his 3rd base secured for a while now. And you can see like his robo unit count is building up so hard. 3 Colossus, 1 Immortal, and now already starting to transition to Disruptors. It looks kind of scary, but on the bright side, at least for SpeCial, he has a lot of tanks, and tanks are particularly good against robo units. It's not like he's making tanks against mass charge lots, so...
yeah, but as we say that, like, because as you were finishing that thought, the upgrade that I'm looking at is charge, finishing, researching, right? So herO is going to have to take a little bit of time to make that amount to something relevant in terms of the charge slot numbers. At the moment, he only has 8, but once they're out, it could get a little bit dangerous again. How do you like this 3rd for a defense against that sort of attack? I think I like it, right? Because there's 2 chokes that are sort of narrow and they're pretty far away from each other. So Zealots coming from multiple angles shouldn't be too easy for herO to pull off onto this base.
Yeah, this is definitely the easier base to defend. The other one is simply too far from your natural for your reinforcements, and you do open yourself wide. So this is definitely the base to do it. He is going to lose a tank, which is extra unfortunate, as it is the looming push.
The looming push.
Yep, herO is going to push forward. He's going to lift all the tanks. Still, the bio is doing incredible work killing those Phoenixes, making sure that they don't lift the tanks for too long, but still it was long enough for all the tanks to fall. Immortals and Colossus still reigning supreme in the back, doing so much damage to this army that SpeCial is just forced to tap out. Wow. I thought that the tanks would do a lot more, but still, yeah, the Phoenixes did what they had to do, which was to just get them off the Colossus, and the Colossus just melted that mostly marine heavy bio composition. Like he didn't have enough marauders to tank the shots. So
Or
not great.
medevacs, right? Because he made 4 banshees and a raven from his first
Yeah,
starport. He
no
had to make a
medevacs,
second.
no Vikings either. You know, like nothing. And also ghosts are extremely important against phoenixes, but of course you can't afford ghosts on 2 bases. So it was just, I think I would dare to say that this was a build order loss for SpeCial, because his build looks particularly good against, for example, Blink, and may be good against Robo first. But
Yeah.
it ended up going up against Adept Phoenix at the start, so his Banshees just really didn't do much. I mean, the first one killed 2 probes. That sucks.
That sucks. He should have waited for that second banshee, right? And yeah, like the sad thing is towards the tail end of an engagement, I switched to observer, but then the things that you were talking about weren't always matching, and I realized I wasn't the Brazil observer. So then I switched at the very end, but I missed the very start of the fight. So yeah, for anyone that noticed, that was my bad. Diego was looking at the fight. It's just I was switching between him and the Brazilian observer in the worst possible moment.
Whoops.
Whoopsie daisies. But yeah, I mean, yeah, nothing too crazy happened in that fight. I think it was just straight up here walking in and killing him.
Indeed, as we go into game number 2 here in Babylon, herO up 1-0 and kind of securing his first place in the group, or at least looking that way for now, and with his annoying 12 supply probe scout. It is spawning on the bottom right corner, Dragon Phoenix Gaming herO.
And it is spawning in the top left-hand corner for Psystorm Gaming SpeCial. Energize the game. I never got it. I always thought that Psystorm Gaming was sponsored by an energy drink, just based off of the slogan.
It would make sense, right?
It would make a lot of sense, yeah. Energize the
Maybe
game.
like a battery company or something, I'm not sure.
Yeah, like something like that. But yeah, I think it's just a random slogan. I like it. Energize the game. Let's see if SpeCial can do that.
Wait, this is actually getting kind of funky because I feel like SpeCial wanted to build a second gas there, or...
Oh no, CB! Gets repaired.
No, the repair was there, so it's okay.
Yeah, that was okay. It's good. It's okay.
Yeah, calm down, Cat.
I mean, he turned around the
doing.
second. He turned around the SCV at the last second too, right? Like the repair came in a millisecond before the probe turned around. Oh, SCV!
Oh. See, you don't trust them, Cats. Let the champ do his thing.
Let the champ. The champ is actually champ.
Well, he's the reigning champ, but they're both champs.
That's true. That's true. Everyone's a champ. I've also won a tournament before.
What have you won?
The Twitch TV Invitational back in 2010.
Ah, that doesn't count.
Justin TV Invitational, actually. It does count. Had all the cool kids in it.
The cool kids.
All the cool kids at the time played in it.
Who did you play in the finals?
Okay, so that was a little bit of a fluke. So, I mean, that guy, like Bubbles, is who I played in the finals.
Oh, Bubbles,
But I think
legendary.
he beat like 91 mana or something, you know? So, like, yeah, I wish I played someone other than Bubbles in the finals just for the prestige factor. But all the cool kids were there, okay? Like Wide Run,
I'm sure.
Mana.
I'm sure.
Everyone who was good.
As this game has taken a weird turn, herO did kill one SCV and got the scout off on this barracks that has a tech lab and going into a Marauder follow-up. But no concussive shells being researched just yet. He doesn't have the gas for it. But he will get in and maybe spot the Stargate. That would actually be kind of big.
Okay, did he see it? I'm
He did see
afraid
it,
to
yes.
look at different cameras at this point. Marauder
He
will
did,
be defending the SCV as the SCV juggles around to make sure he doesn't get shot by the Adept. So CC will finish without much trouble. Okay, Diego, you're special. You scout the Stargate. What do you do?
Cyclone instantly, and that is what he's going to do. He's going to swap, make a Cyclone, and maybe even a second barracks. Or he also has the option of instead going into a 3CC. 3CC is perfectly viable against Stargate simply because you know that Phoenixes and Oracles can't kill you. So you can afford to be a bit greedy, maybe even skip a bunker. And if you do that, you're kind of just buzzing. But instead, he's actually going to go into Starport, which is curious because I'm not sure what he wants to build from that besides Vikings.
All right. And yeah, I mean, these Marauders not getting shot at as those are just going to continue to walk on forward. That was a little bit weird. I guess he was just looking for the scout, but doesn't really pay off. Phoenix going to have to lift the Reapers, but offer some information in the process. These Adepts don't go crazy now. And this Cyclone, MacGyver Cyclone, has to pull back. You know that there's 2 Phoenix out there.
Yeah. And SpeCial kind of... it felt like he was kind of showing that he wanted to push, but instead he is going to lift his Starport into the Factor, maybe go for a Raven instead. And just a 3cc behind it. So nothing crazy, just playing the defensive game like that I said against a tech building that can't punish him for it.
Yeah. Single Phoenix lift cannot... I guess, can you kill a Cyclone with 2 lifts?
I mean, you can, assuming that this Terran doesn't pull SCVs for some reason, but it will take so long.
So it's just not worth.
Yeah, absolutely not worth.
Because I was looking at that situation, I was thinking, wow, if herO actually turned around thinking, okay, I have 2 Phoenix against 1 Cyclone, and then the second Cyclone popped up, that would have been so beautiful for SpeCial. But,
no one would ever dare try 2 Phoenixes against 1 Cyclone, for sure.
Got it.
This one Adept is going to go down here,
Nice.
but he will use this opportunity to catch a couple of SCVs. Not a bad start. Oh, maybe stayed a bit too long there as Cyclones get the lock on, but unfortunately they were not both on the same Phoenix.
Yeah, that scan was never gonna kill any Phoenix there. So a little bit surprising to even see it used.
It looks like Storm Charge Lot is going to be the choice here for herO in his follow-up. Banshee, on the other hand, for SpeCial. I mean, he already made a Raven. And then he's going to cloak Banshee.
Is he faking it? He was faking it. He was faking it for the Phoenix.
Okay. Good.
Good.
Or maybe he did cancel. He wanted to like sneak it in, because there might be little to no detection. But I guess getting scouted, you 100% want to cancel that, as he is going to mech actually.
Welcome to mech, as they say.
Instantly scouted though. Unfortunate.
That's okay. Do you think we are producing tanks with on the side of SpeCial? Like, do you think there's any opening for mech to be played a little bit more like the battle mech styles that we see sometimes in the openings of TBCs, like Cyclone Hellbat type thing, or is that not a thing that you can do in this matchup?
It is, but the problem is you have to be a lot more careful of dying to a push than you do in TVZ, because in TVZ your Zerg is just so extremely weak off creep. Unless they're playing some kind of Roach Corruptor timing.
Preach.
But still, you know, you don't have to be so afraid of that you can afford to just go straight into Cyclones first. But you can see SpeCial is already scared, you know, because at any moment a flood of charge lots could come in. He's positioning tanks, he's making turrets. He also needs turrets in the main, by the way, against a War Prism that could fly in. But it's so much more scary to play mech in TVP, and that's why people usually make these tanks first before opting to go into Cyclones later on for poking.
Now, what I would really love, given the opening and the number of Marines that he has, is just build 2 bunkers, right? Like, those Marines are just kind of like sitting around, they're like purposeless. You put them in some bunkers, and when you're going bio, it kind of feels bad, but here I feel like it would be nice. No? Clips the Observer there, lucky. And a Templar.
He killed a Templar, a Phoenix, and the Observer with 3 Cyclones, so that was great value. Totally worth it.
This mine. Oh, could he retarget? No, he does not retarget, and instead it's gonna be caught off position and not paying attention. The Cyclones are just gonna get taken down right away. Storm everywhere. I mean, he even stormed the gas where there was absolutely nothing, just because he has the storm to spare. The tanks are gonna get rid of these Archons while they morph, so that is a plus for SpeCial, but he has already lost a few SCVs in his natural base expansion. Some Hellions are being created here, and with the SCV's help, he should be able to clean this up eventually, but at what cost?
Is he going to be able to clean it up? I mean, these charge lots are so numerous. There's so many of them, and they already killed 35 SCVs. And he doesn't have Blue Flame, which is an upgrade that you sorely need against this type of unit. And yeah, this is just mech being mech, you know?